There, this is John Wayne Mercure, the Sonneteer, from beautiful, beautiful Chandler, Arizona, the Society of Living Poets, of which you are a member if you want to be. And why wouldn't you want to be? Hey, get out there in cyberspace, write your own stuff. I wrote this sonnet here because I believe in it. This is sonnet number 1306. That's more than 8 times that my hero William Shakespeare had. He had 154. This is number 1306. And this is a cause I believe in. And whoever started this, GoFundMe.com, thank you. Thank you for this chance to at least get out there, because I have a GoFundMe.com, an account I want to open for mesquite trees for Sudan. Sudan is a beautiful country. It's ancient Egypt. They're the ones that started everything. And what I'm going to do here is read this sonnet I wrote that is in praise of GoFundMe.com. Please at least think about it. I'm going to tell you how. Sensei, that's me. Here's my goal. To help Sudan buy as many mesquite trees as possible. Mesquite trees, Mojave. Mesquite trees, Sonora. It's the highway to lavish prosperity built by Sonoran Mojave mesquite. The miracle mesquite tree. No 3-inch thorns. Mostly mesquite has these 3-inch thorns. They'll go through a car tire. They hurt animals. They'll give you infections. They're terrible. They're like little razors. And those thorns are just so bad. Well, this mesquite tree, it doesn't have any thorns. That's the miracle. That's the miracle. A mesquite tree with no thorns. This amazing plant was developed by Dr. Peter Felker. I want you to remember his name because I'm giving him credit. Dr. Peter Felker, a genius botanist. And there's Christian Scott. He's of altmanplants.com, and he pioneers usages for this miracle plant. This mesquite tree grows 25 feet tall, and it grows straight up and provides really valuable lumber. And it also provides shelter shade. There's 40 different species of mesquite that they blended with Argentine inventive genius. And they used 2, I think, to come up with one with no thorns. And this mesquite tree takes very little water, hardly any water at all, and it spreads like a weed. It grows like crazy, and it generates nitrogen. That in itself is unbelievable. You mean it's going to replenish the soil? Yes. Of course, Arizona, my beautiful state Arizona, California, Nevada, New Mexico, they must adapt now, as quickly as possible. This plant has a deep, deep root system. It replenishes the soil with nitrogen, creating fertility, fertile soil. It's a mandate to do this. You have to replace invasive thorny mesquite, which is an awful menace. The thorns, the invasive thorny mesquite, you've got to replace it with Sonoran miracle mesquite. And that can be done quickly. Just think, gardens at the base of each tree. Gardens of Eden everywhere. We must reclaim arid lands all over the world to feed 7.7 billion hungry people. When I started teaching a long time ago, in the last century, okay, there were, in 1968, 52 years ago, I started teaching. There were 3.5 billion people on this planet. Now, 50 years later, 60 years later, there's 7.7 billion human beings on the planet. We can't feed all of them. And this Sonora mesquite would allow gardens to be at the bottom of every tree. It would replenish the soil. We could reclaim deserts. And the mesquite tree, it has seedling pods in the tree that are food for livestock. The animals love it. The Federal Department of Agriculture, they've got to be funding massive tree implantations. They can do it. They have forestry services. Every state has it. Garden of Edens will be our future. Now, Sudan, My GoFundMe.com, Mesquite Trees for Sudan. Sudan is a great country in Africa. It's the land of Sudanese pharaohs. The first existence of humanity, southern Sudan, Adam and Lucy. Ancient Mizraim, Sudan. Ancient Zoan, Mizraim, Zoan. They're builders of the pyramids, the Sudanese. They had the original belief in one God. They're the ones that started it all. One God. They called him Aten, Ra, the God of the sun, Ra, Amun. Aten, Ra, Amun. I like it. Amun. Tutant, Amun. That's great. The Sudanese were great mathematicians, great astronomers. They were great engineers. They built majestic monuments. Sensei, that's me. My skilled videographer, right behind the camera right there, my videographer, Dr. Mohammed Fregan. He's my hero. He's from Sudan. He's earning his doctorate in chemical engineering, mathematics, and computers at Arizona State University's very best training, education, a doctorate. I think it's just going to be just thinking about a fantastic Garden of Eden for Sudan. I want to get 10,000 Sonoran mesquites for Sudan. GoFundMe.com, Mesquite Trees for Sudan. I want 10,000 trees. And it's going to work. Why? Because Sudan will be a Garden of Eden. Sensei, that's me. I envision Rashaya al-Wadi. It's a place in Lebanon. It's where the original Garden of Eden was. There's no reason there can't be a GoFundMe Lebanon, GoFundMe Australia. Just think of Australia covered with these mesquite trees. It would be our mesquite tree heaven, gardens at the bottom. And we got to share hybrid botanical science. How else are we going to feed 7.7 billion people? We got to do that. I got a lot of things on the I'm trying to get these things done. I want to build an aqueduct from the Columbia River to Lake Mead. Pronto. Why? They do it with gas and oil, and they can't do it for water. Aqueduct like the Romans built, all right? A channel running from the Columbia River to Lake Mead. Lake Mead would fill up in 10 years. I want that done. I want to run Governor Walter Hickles. He was the governor of Alaska. Walter Hickles' Alaskan aqueduct, he said he'd give all the fresh water we could ever use to California, running it down the coast. We can do that. Why can't we do that? Why can't we have a garden again in California? We got to convert gasoline engines and home heating to run on hydrogen. I'm a voice crying in the wilderness. It has to be hydrogen. You burn hydrogen, you get more hydrogen. It's God. The sun is a hydrogen reactor. And I'm telling you, Sensei, that's me. We got to get these things done. And I'm telling you, I want this GoFundMe.com, Mesquite Trees for Sudan. I want that to create a Garden of Eden in Sudan immediately in 20 years. Sudan would be a garden again. And it's wonderful to give them back. Sudan, I just see them covered with mesquite trees. Sudan again, the Akashic land. And that's in the Quran, the Akashic record, the book of God's remembrance, that the pharaohs were there, and they're great people, and they're smart. And my videographer, a doctorate in chemical engineering, mathematics, and computers, I can't even boil water. What's Sensei going to do? This man is a genius, and I am honoring him in the country of Sudan, and their choir is great, and they have the Sudanese Professionals Association. These are wonderful people. We got to get them 10,000 mesquite trees for Sudan. GoFundMe.com. Please, please, pretty please. I'm asking Allah, I'm asking God, I'm asking Jah Allah, Allah Jah. There can be only one God. And I'm asking you, please, GoFundMe. That's what this is for. And those people that set up GoFundMe, thank you. What a nice chance. What a nice service to talk about things that matter. God bless us, everyone. Et me qui vous aime. Au revoir. Mes amis.